Welcome to the Batman Book Club's Road to No Man's Land, Part 2. I am your host, Ryan Lauer, and joining me, what did we call you last time, Deep? My compañera? My compañera.
Oh, yeah.
Peter R. Verra. The R stands for hope. Peter, how are you, my friend?
Gets me every time. I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you?
This This part of the Road to No Man's Land adventure is not sponsored by Coca-Cola, but I am a fan of Coca-Cola. So we'll
It's a very
make that very
comfortable
clear.
t-shirt.
It's a very comfortable t-shirt, very comfortable beverage. I'm a big fan. Fountain, not bottled. And that fresh fountain Coke. Do you know Florida? They must put something in their Coke because it is the best Coke that I've ever had. It's down in Florida.
Really?
Yes, Disney World.
What
Magic. Also not a sponsor.
What stood out about this version of Coca-Cola?
It was fresh. It's probably the cane sugar. It probably just used real sugar.
Where did you get it from? Where was this fountain?
Disney World.
Disney World fountain soda, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. There
Disney
you go.
World's fountain Coke.
The best fountain soda you'll ever
best.
drink, apparently, is at Disney World, according to Ryan Lauer.
Yeah. All their Coke imported from Cuba. So there you go.
Is that true?
I don't know. I was just kidding. Making sure.
Oh, wow.
Right,
Look at you go.
I need a disclaimer at the bottom right here of Ryan doesn't know what he's talking about.
Ryan is full of it.
Yes. So, Peter, we are here on our long road to No Man's Land where, yes, this book, which I forget how much I told you this actually weighed, because I had a scale and I was like, I'm going to see how much this weighs. I swear it's like 18 pounds.
Is it?
I don't know. It's heavy.
I thought you said you weighed it.
I did, but I kind of forgot. I know I told you how much it weighed, but
I don't remember.
I'm going to go check it out right after this. But yes,
it's hefty.
We are making our way through this beast here in part 2, 8 parts in total. We're going to get through this, and then we're heading straight to No Man's Land because we're in this. You and I were committed that we have to be friends for at least another year so we can get through all of No Man's Land and all these omnibus.
That shouldn't be difficult.
No, and so in this book there are 42 chapters, if you will, or 48 chapters. So we're doing 8 parts with 6 chapters each part. We're going to crack this open. This is what we're going to cover in our conversation right here. Catwoman number 56, Robin number 52, Batman Blackgate, Isle of Men number 1, Batman Shadow of the Bat number 74, the Batman Chronicles number 12, and Nightwing number 20. Pete, how did you feel about this batch of stories?
This was a good batch. There was a lot of search and rescue, a lot of saving people, a lot of heroics from our heroes. I think the first and last issue of this, let's say, cluster, really good.
Really
Catwoman,
good.
starting off Catwoman, she's mid-heist, trying to make her exit. All of a sudden, she's in the elevator shaft. Boom! Earthquake hits. She's got to decide, and you get to really see a good side of Catwoman, and Balance Art's really fabulous as well. And then Nightwing 20, just some solid, just Nightwing, Bat family interaction. Always love that. A lot of Robin stuff in this cluster as well. Great amount of just Tim Drake moments. There's a lot of just this is what you'll see where we're going with this, and we also get our first look at Oswald.
Your boy
is a big factor. And did you see my there was a lot of good stuff in this for me, but did you see my other favorite character pop up in this cluster of books?
Catman?
You should know this. No. Brief cameo.
I mean, it wasn't the teasing of the villain, was it? Quakemaster? That's not your boy.
No, it was right before that though.
No, go ahead.
Harold.
Oh, Harold. Yeah.
Harold and Alfred. At the end of Nightwing.
I even jotted down in here.
Yeah.
Nightwing's comment when Barbara asks who is Harold, and he's like, Harold, new guy, about 3 feet tall. Bruce found him. Bruce found him somewhere. That's Harold. All right. That's all you really need to know. Your boy Harold. That's
a lot of really good stuff, and a lot of you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense why Peter likes this. And you can connect the dots if you know me as we go through this. But what about you? What do you take out? There's a lot of good stuff.
I think what you said, it's a good. I mean, it's a good summary of it. It's a good batch. I think it's a a nice variety in which like the front half, I thought, oh, is that what this batch is going to be? Because as you said, Catwoman's mid heist. She's in an elevator shaft. She experiences the earthquake. That follows up with, which I think was funny, but I totally understand why. The Robin issue number 52 was only like 5 pages, but it's because that issue, they only took the part that relates to, Cataclysm and the No Man's Land, in which it is him coming in on a plane and he overlooks it, and then it takes you to this this runoff issue of the Blackgate Isle of Men, which is them experiencing the earthquake. And I was like, oh, is that what all these are going to be? Is just a different character experiencing this at the time. But right when you thought that, the next 3 parts, 3 issues, whatever, was not that. Instead, it was a nice variety of Batman saving people as Batman, but then also as a detective, Detective Hawk. Wink, wink. That's a cool confrontation that he has with Gordon. But then even in the Batman Chronicles issue, it was made up of like how many did I even write down here? There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like short stories in that issue, which I think that was kind of cool. A nice like different flavor.
That's very urban legends, right? You're like, oh, okay, you guys have been doing this for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, in those you get to see a variety of characters, and the first one was like the first one of that is a bunch of mooks saving a bunch of people that are trapped in a boy's, I mean, his name was Kirby. You instantly have to think that's a nod to Jack Kirby, right? And his just belief in Batman's going to save him. So it's like Batman, you see this vision at the very first page of Batman, his yellow oval just glowing, but then you don't see him at all, but yet his presence is there because of like the people believing he's there. And then it jumps from that to Ra's al Ghul in a very pessimistic,
which I thought that was great. I love that. That's one of my favorite parts, man. I was like really into that. I was like, oh man, Ra's is just relishing in this. He's like, where are you now, detective? With all your,
where are you now? It's like, I told you, I was right. You can't save this.
Oh
it's
man,
it's a very cynical view. But I mean, and then you jump from that to the let's see, the short issue or a bird with a hand. That's teasing somebody that's coming at the white suit man. That's just like, what will you do for me?
Which is like at some point you're kind of like, is that Penguin?
Is that what you
somebody
thought?
else? When I first read it, yeah.
Okay. Penguin, was he in? No, he was in the Shadows of the Bat at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't think it was him. The Two-Face piece was cool.
Yeah.
Klaus
I really
Janson.
dug that. I was like really into that.
That was really
and you
cool.
had a lot of great talented people involved in this whole cluster. Sorry about that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, in the last thing, which was only 2 pages, called Little Orphan Andy, but you got a little Leslie Thompson surprise.
That was nice. Yeah.
So look at that. I mean, just in that Batman Chronicles issue, the quick like check in on certain characters that we know, which I thought was really cool, and that only helped the variety of this batch. So I mean, I really liked it, but I think that it's bookended by the strongest parts.
Yeah,
because
there's a lot of great character moments along the way.
Catwoman,
especially in these short stories.
She's wanting to run away, and she sees a little girl that needs help. And so she goes back and she tries to help the little girl, and then it does kind of hit pretty hard that the little girl doesn't make it and just kind of like dies right there in her arms.
The end of that book's very emotional.
Yeah, that's good. And then the Nightwing issue, I mean, give me a Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon scene all day, any day, and how they reunite. And then it's like Tim shows up as Robin, and I didn't know that that's the first time he's ever met Oracle.
I'm
like, that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
But then they make their way to the cave, and so that's a nice lead in which then he's reunited and he sees Alfred and Harold. But it's like, oh, okay, now we're progressing toward, I don't know, the story's progressing. I think the overall,
and each character can see, like, you could see, like, when you see Batman's perspective in the Blackgate issue, it's cool because we leave off a few issues earlier of him just, oh my god, this is Gotham, and we see that, Drake has that perspective from the sky, Catwoman has that perspective from in the city. So you've seen that perspective from various positions, and it's interesting. And now you're getting a look at what it's like in the city post at a earthquake, and it's fascinating. It was cool to see Catwoman, do what she does best, play both sides of the fence. She got her binoculars, and she tried to save some lives. She ended up saving some people, but it was interesting. It's cool. Like, you could see why there's a lot of good stuff in here, man. Like, you're gonna find a lot of good, interesting things along the way.
And I think I've told you, and I think I might have mentioned in part one that I read the trade collections of these. I can totally understand now how like this just nothing beats like the omnibus of it, because it's including every single part, that even though we're checking in at different spots on different characters, it definitely feels very connected and you're getting the whole
Yeah,
perspective, the
like
whole story.
even though that Robin issue is only 5 pages or whatever it is, it's still like, it still factors in, because when you see it again and again and again, and you're like, oh man, Gotham just crumbled. And like I said, the 3 different viewpoints, it adds to the story. It does. And all those little moments help. And sometimes those aren't included in the trades at the time, but that's why we have these wonderful
that's why you were like, I want to do this and you better buy the omnibus or else you're not a real
you're gonna
Batman
love
fan.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
only,
I mean, yeah. So I mean, where we stopped here, that was 300 pages in. So we're 300 pages in, 25% done, Pete.
Wow.
But I mean, wow. I really love it, and we're barely like scratched the surface, A couple of the, as we mentioned, so some characters, and not just in like well, I guess we could say any of them that we check in on. So you're familiar of where the story's going. I don't remember anything except for the one part in No Man's Land, which, in what, 9 months when we get there, I'll bring it up of like, oh yeah, this is the part I was talking about. Some of like the villains of where we're going with some of these. So the Blackgate issue, which I think is pretty cool because it was written by Doug Mensch, illustrated by Jim Aparo, in which there's something different with the coloring for sure. Of it's not jarring. I love like 80s Jim Aparo art. This you could definitely see in the faces of characters and stuff, like, oh yeah, that's Aparo, but there's something with like the look of everything and the coloring of everything that looks definitely different and more 90s than 80s. But I thought the story was actually like pretty cool. We got KG Beast in that one. We did quick pages of, like a Catman, Black Spider, and a few of those, but I'm talking about, we got our first introduction of Penguin, this Quake Master character, this man in a white suit, not Kingpin, so that's Marvel. Man in a white suit, helping people. I feel like that's a good tease of somebody that's coming. We saw Ra's al Ghul. Let's see, who's another? We saw Two-Face.
You've seen
is that it? Am I thinking anybody else?
We're not done. We're not done yet either.
For this batch.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's more popping up.
Oh yeah, more. I mean, Joker's got to show up.
You just rattled off a bunch of names, so we're in for a treat.
Okay, so introducing or checking in, would you say, where these villains are for this? Is that definitely leading toward some pretty good storylines from what you can remember?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I will answer minimally as to not spoil a damn thing.
Yes.
But I feel like we're going to get a lot more. So this is looking ahead, but I mean, the next batch has it's a Batman Arkham Asylum Tales of Madness #1. I'm kind of like, oh, that's got to be where most of the big ones are.
I'm not gonna lie, there's some of these I've never read though. Like, there's, in the omnibus, everything's in it. So there's some things I haven't read. Like, I don't think I want to compare. I'm going to have to compare the trades that I've read.
That'd be great.
What's in the omnibus, so I can figure out.
Were any of these for this part first time reads that you can think of? I almost feel like
the Blackgate issue, Isles of Men. I've never read that one before.
Okay, I see that one. I swear, because
I don't remember that ever.
I feel like I've read that one before. So I think that it'd be interesting to go back and look at the trades and see if that was included in the trades that I checked out before. That did seem a little bit familiar, which I thought was a cool kind of one-off issue. I could see why it would be, if it wasn't included in the trades before, I could see why, because
I just don't remember it.
There's a reference later of the breakout at Blackgate, I think, is what's said in another issue. And it's kind of like, that's all that really needs to be said. I think you don't actually need this chapter, but it was a cool issue to read too, because I mean, you had a guy hell, I wrote down his name. Nobody I'd ever heard of before.
The prisoner.
Jared Manx, never heard of his name before. Yeah. But I mean, he's just trying to break free.
And that was a great ending too.
Yeah, because you think he's hours away from being, being executed. He's on death row, and there's a nun there, and then his counselor, his lawyer is there as well. And he keeps telling them, and they believe him, but they're like, but it's, the court doesn't believe you. So you get this whole issue where KG Beast is after him, and he is saving those two, and he saves people, but then he ends up admitting that he's not innocent.
And you think, is he just saying that just to get her out of there? Like the nun questions it at the end.
Yeah, so it's left. I mean, it's up to you. And I mean, we get some cool Batman action in that one too. But yeah, like you said, it's a good ending. And how just thinking he did lie, but when and about what? End of issue. I'm like, okay, well, that's a cool tie-in issue, and we got some Batman, so I don't know, it all works. I like it. It's cool. Yeah. Is there somebody you didn't see yet in this that you wish would have been included?
No. Oh no, because I know it's just everyone and their best friend is going to come out of just no, I got nothing to complain about. But I have to compare this to the trade because I want to see what I've read and what I haven't. Because that Blackgate issue felt like a first time read for me. I really don't remember. It's been a while since I read the story to begin with.
It's been a
while. But I do want to compare the two. But so far, I'm having a blast reading. I mean, how much fun is this? Mm-hmm. Like, we're getting into some good Batman modes. There's some good Batman stuff already. Wait till we get to like the nitty gritty. I'm really excited for this stuff.
And you know when that is, the nitty gritty. Roughly.
I mean, it's the next volume. Obviously, the next omnibus is like
that's definitely the nitty gritty.
Yeah, that's like that's the stuff. But I think we make some pretty good progress here.
I love so I already mentioned there's a moment in the Nightwing issue, Nightwing 20, where we're in with Gordon, who's with firefighters on this Davenport building that's going to collapse, and this guy saves somebody before it comes down. And they were like, and Gordon says, "Do I know you, officer? Could be Commissioner Detective Hawk, safe in Loft's division." And Gordon said, "I don't think we've met, Detective."
Who do you think that is?
And he says, Hawk says, "We've met a number of times. I always work night shift. You're just not used to seeing me during the day." And then it's cool, like 3 quick panels of Gordon who's like, "I'm usually good at faces and I don't recall." And then oh, thank God. And then it's a cool punctuation at the end of that issue too, because Gordon turns around once to ask for Detective Hawk, and he's like, he usually works the night shift. He probably just went to punch in. He's like, "Oh my God, you get it, Pete? It's because that's Batman. Because he can't keep some church during the day. He's Batman, Detective Hawk, Eyes of Hawk." How does this build upon, to you, the first batch of issues that we read for the first part?
Just good, if not better. Just really, just again, furthering the story, seeing characters react to this moment, seeing characters do things that are probably out of their own comfort zone. You seeing characters take risks. I mean, you remember at some point Tim Drake he left to go visit his father. This is like a very interesting part of Tim Drake's like character history. As Ryan Haas can attest, he's not really living in Wayne Manor. He's away at school, but he still has his dad, and we're not at identity crisis yet. That's still on the way. So things aren't ready to really rock the world for Tim Drake, but we're seeing Tim and trying to just have some sort of relationship with his father, and that he's trying to build on that, and he's trying to juggle that and Robin, and it's interesting. It's Tim Drake grows a lot within No Man's Land, and that's fun to watch. So that's a character arc to watch. But I forgot what the actual thing was before I went on my Drake rant. I forgot what you were asking me.
How it connects with like the issues that we read from the first part, those 6.
Oh, it just moves everything along. It just takes just keeps progress.
We saw this. I don't know her like official title, but the Jean Berlazzo character. Okay. We see that there's some men in, because she's in one of a hotel room or apartment room or something like that. That's built by Bruce Wayne Foundation or something. So it has the earthquake.
Yes.
What do you want to say? Procedures, preventive procedures, whatever, in it. And we have some bad dudes that come to get her. And so she was in. We talked about her last part because she was in the very first issue of this whole thing, and how she recognized that something was coming. And so she went and she tried calling Batman, and Batman never answered to warn him that, hey, the big one's coming. So it'll be interesting to see who's coming to get her. Maybe that's Quakemaster. I don't know. Whoever this Quakemaster guy, because
we find out.
We will, because there's a reporter in here too. I think she was in the Nightwing issue, where she was recording something, which I thought was kind of funny and fascinating. And it was definitely put out there for us of like, oh, we recognize this, where she's saying it's crazy that I'm recording this and nobody is going to see this right now because there's no power in Gotham City. There's no way to get this out, but I'm recording it anyway. And then she ended up getting a package that was Quakemaster recording this threat. He calls himself Quakemaster, and he said that he took responsibility for the 7.6 earthquake, and he said that he'll do it again if he doesn't, get some money. Classic villain, And in the end, we will find out it was Egghead in his only comic book appearance. I hope so. Pete, I want to ask you, of this batch, which issue was your favorite?
Catwoman.
Yeah. All right. Is this in comics? Is this your favorite Catwoman suit?
No.
Okay. Or your favorite Darwin Cooks? Okay.
In that run, yeah.
Sure. Okay. But I mean, for the comic book crowd, this is an iconic era for her.
But this is great.
Sure.
This suit's no joke. This is
full purple.
I have this run. I love this cat. The curls, everything. This Catwoman is fantastic.
I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, she doesn't have the tail though.
No.
Which that's fine. That's okay.
But no, she was great. I love this Sarah of Catwoman. It's good. It's fun.
I do love the Catwoman issue. I think the Nightwing issue is my favorite of this batch, though. I really liked all three of them. I liked
it's a good one too.
Dick uniting with Barbara, and there's like a relief, and he even says to her, "Can you just hold on for 1 second and just let me enjoy the fact that I'm seeing that you're alive?" And then it's like, and then Tim comes in as Robin, and then I didn't know that Nightwing 20 was the first time that Tim Drake Robin met Barbara Gordon Oracle. That was cool.
Face to face.
Yeah, and there's a lot to that. And I mean, Bruce Wayne / Batman is in this issue. He's just in disguise as this created detective doing things and saving things. You get Gordon, you get a tease at the very end of Nightwing is in the cave, and then here comes Alfred and your boy
it's fun
Harold.
Watching him explore and everything.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot that happens, I think, in that issue that I think is really cool. Of like, oh cool, where's this gonna go? What's gonna go next? So I think Nightwing 20 gets the edge, in which written by Chuck Dixon and art by Scott McDaniel. Fabulous. Great issue.
Just great. Thank you.
How about what of this batch, which issue or part has like was the biggest takeaway for the Road to No Man's Land? Like, ooh, this is the biggest focal point of this batch in going forward.
Probably just Nightwing trying to organize everything, really trying to figure out, okay, this what do we do? Where's Bruce? Where's Alfred? Let's check them out first. Let's try to get our house in order. That's really where stand on that.
Okay. For me, I'd agree with you in that in that Nightwing 20, it just has a lot of things. It's not just checking in, like Catwoman's was checking in on a character, and the Blackgate issue was checking in on a location. Shadows of the Bat was Batman saving people. But I mean, but he makes a deal with Penguin at the end of that issue.
He does. That's good.
Basically threatens him of like, it's martial law. And now, because we've seen the Batman, I can't think but help at the end of that movie where it's, we're seeing Oz, as he says, it's martial law. And there's an alliance, quote unquote. And I just kind of feel like, oh, Penguin's going to manipulate this in his favor, however he can.
There's some Penguin stuff to come, my friend.
Because this is your favorite Penguin story ever, right? Is the him and No Man.
Maybe like, I don't want to say, because I like Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, sure.
You know, that was a great Penguin story, but like this is like my favorite version of Penguin.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So that excites me because I'm like, oh, Penguin's going to be a dick.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun
in this. So maybe that's what I'll say, just to be a little bit different. Maybe I'll say him making that deal with Penguin is the biggest takeaway for the future.
How do you feel about that deal?
I'm trying to think what Batman's. It almost like he said you'll be shot dead on the streets, and Penguin calls him out on it. Of like, you're Batman, you don't shoot and kill people. So I'm kind of trying to think of what was he saying directly, that other people are going to be out there shooting him if they see him, or that he's going to take care of it. But whichever way, he left quite the impression, because Penguin was just like, okay.
It's almost like Batman's like, protection money.
Yeah.
No one will kill you if I'm around. And it's like, okay, Batman's funded by Penguin now.
Because he just says, that was then, Penguin. This is now. The old rules are dead and buried. And he's like, you're bluffing. And Batman, I'm trying to make you understand. The sooner things get back to normal, the better it'll be for you and your enterprises. So he didn't even answer the thing. He's like, you're bluffing. And he just left it at that and kept moving on. So
no, it's pivotal.
It seems interesting. Do you have a highlighted character moment in any of this?
I like the reactions to the characters when they finally realize what's happened to Gotham City. Like at the end of Catwoman, when the final panel of Robin, when you see him looking from the plane, you know, even when the prisoners, like that whole Blackgate issue, you know, he's like, certain characters drown because they can't help it. They can't even open the doors. There's so many great, like, just scenes, moments like that throughout all the books. It's tough to pick out your favorite within 6 issues, because all these books together combined are like A's. To be honest, like, there's not a bad issue.
I mean, that even in Shadows of the Bat, when Gordon's standing behind Barbara, and some people are saying we barely even got out alive, but a lot didn't, and it definitely zooms in on Barbara's face, who's feeling like really bad about this, and Gordon gives her a moment of like, well, without your help, a lot more would have died. You know, as like a reassurance of, I don't know, and that's a good character moment too, you know. Man, yeah, I don't know.
And then you see character moments of like bad characters, like those prisoners when they get saved and they kill the guards.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're not all character moments are great heroic moments. Like, some of them, when bad characters have character moments, they reinforce the fact that they're bad characters. So there's a lot that goes on here. I mean, there's 6 issues, and like I said, like, Ryan, is there an average issue amongst the bunch? Like, no, these are all really well written, well drawn comic books.
Yep.
Like, it's pretty. This is fabulous. 6 issues. We're 12 issues in, and like, I have no complaints. There's no. I haven't
scratched the surface yet. It feels like it's kind of dense so far too. It's been a lot going on. So,
and everything seems like it matters too. Like, nothing seems like it. Nothing feels like fluff. You know, like, like, okay, this is too much. Like, it's, for a story of this massive size, it all like just flows very nicely, as you've read.
It's all connected. I hope Darkseid makes an appearance. So,
Ooksis.
There you go. So for the next part, the homework, Pete, for us, 6 parts. And following in the, as I said, we're following in the Road to No Man's Land omnibus.
Got mine here.
Yeah,
2 envelopes.
Booyah.
Bookmarks.
I've got good page markers. So this sucker is gonna just be the next 6 parts: Batman number 554, Batman Huntress spoiler, Blunt Trauma number 1.
Looking forward to that one especially.
All right. Detective Comics number 721, Catwoman number 57, Batman Arkham Asylum Tales of Madness number 1, and Robin number 53. So that's the homework. I don't know if I've ever read
that one. I feel like that's got to be one of the issues I've never read. Arkham Asylum.
Oh, the Arkham Asylum. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's new.
All right. Well, there's our homework for next time, Pete. So, is there any last thing you've yet to say?
Just looking ahead, I don't know if you know this, but Batman 555 coming up, cover by Kelly Jones. So
yeah. I don't know if you know this, Pete, but I
show.
was a lucky man and got
Friend
to
of the
sit and
show.
talk with Kelly Jones.
I heard you're very good. You're a big shot now. You're a big deal here.
It was a very good conversation. I pinched myself
I
maybe
enjoyed
once or
it.
twice. So, Peter Verra, thanks for joining me on this venture for part number
Lauer,
2.
Thank you for having me. I like our little bat chats. We don't do this enough.
Well, we do once a month at least. And now it's going to make it at least twice.
I think we don't do this enough.
Not enough? Okay. Coming next month, Pete and I are going to have 17 episodes of the Batman Book Club.
We're going to be doing Batman, the animated series, season 2.
Season 2. All right. Sounds good. Pete, why don't you go ahead and plug away?
You can follow me all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1, Straight Outta Gotham, and is a news-based podcast at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. Follow podcast number 2, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast at Italians for Spidey on Twitter. At Teen Yellow Oval. I'm all over Batman on Film, from Michael Uslan to Tara Strong to Detective Comics to toys, all that stuff's over there. So that's my whole spiel there.
There you go. Pete joins me every month for a monthly wrap up of Batman comics on the main show. So make sure to follow the Batman Book Club on Twitter and Instagram at the Batman BC. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because then you'll be informed when more episodes of this Road to No Man's Land drop, as well as some other fun things that are on the horizon that are coming soon. And if you want to support the show, there's a variety of ways you can do that. Patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Go and shop on the TeePublic store to get all sorts of logos and such for the Batman Book Club. But if you want to support the show and you don't want to spend any money at all, it's 100% A-okay. Just go ahead and rate and review it on whatever podcast platform you use. So Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, what else am I got? iHeartRadio, wherever. But if you, no, there we go. Okay, yes, rate and review on there, because the more reviews it gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, the word is panic.
So Uxus.
The word is Uxus. Wait, let's try this again. And as we all know, the word is
Uxus.
Perfect. Nailed it that time. So for my compañero, Peter Arvera, I am Ryan Lauer. Until next time, be my Batman.